Hey Royal Vibers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you an enchanting African folktale story filled with magic, mystery, and forbidden love. So it is a story that will keep you glued to this screen, trust me, until the very end. So if you're a lover of fantasy, you're a lover of magical moments and love, do well to stay with me as I will be telling this tale from my end here. So do well to also leave a comment below if you have something to share or something to say, or you've experienced something like this maybe before, or you've had a story about this before. So now let's dive straight into this story. The heart of an ancient African kingdom nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, there was a small village called Ekuro. The village lived simple lives, farming the fertile lands and fishing in the crystal clear rivers. But Ekuro was no ordinary village. It was a place where magic thrived, hidden from the outside world, known only to those who lived within its borders. Amongst the villagers was a young woman named Nkemji. She was known far and wide for her beauty, with skin as smooth as ebony and eyes that sparkled like the stars. But what truly set Nkemji apart was her gift. Nkemji could sing to the spirits of the forest, and they would answer her, bringing rain to the crops, calming storms, and also even healing the sick. Her voice was a bridge between the human world and the magical realm. She sang so sweetly, but Nkemji had a secret. She had fallen in love with a spirit man, a powerful, mysterious being named Adolfo, who lived deep within the forbidden forest. Adolfo was a guardian of the ancient trees and a spirit with the power to shape the land, control the winds, and command the rivers. He was as handsome and as he was powerful, with eyes that glowed like embers and a voice that resonated like the earth itself. Their love was pure, but it was also forbidden. The elders of Ekuro had warned Nkemji never to venture into the forbidden forest, for it was a place of danger and mystery, where spirits and humans were never meant to meet. But Nkemji couldn't resist the pull of her heart. Every night she would sneak into the forest to be with Adolfo, their love growing stronger and stronger and stronger with each passing day. One night, as Nkemji was preparing to leave the village to meet Adolfo, her younger brother Kachi caught her. He had always suspected that his sister was hiding something, and now he knew her secret. Nkem, you can't keep doing this, Kachi whispered urgently. The elders will find out, and the spirits will be angered. You're putting us all in danger. But Nkemji's heart was set. I love him, Kachi, she replied. I can't turn my back on him, no matter the risk. Kachi shook his head, torn between his loyalty to his sister and his fear of the consequences. Then, I'm coming with you. If anything happens, I'll be there to protect you. Reluctantly, Nkem agreed, and together they ventured into the forbidden forest. The trees loomed large and menacing, their branches twisted like the guard knife of ancient beings. The forest was alive with the sounds of creatures unseen, and the air was thick with magic. As they reached the heart of the forest, Adolfo appeared, emerging from the shadows like a figure from a dream. His presence was powerful, and yet his eyes softened when he saw Nkenchi. "You've brought someone with you," he said, his voice a deep, soothing rumble. "This is my brother Kachi," Nkem explained. "He knows about us." Adolfo nodded, understanding the risks they were all taking. "We must be careful. The forest is awakening and the spirits are restless. They do not look kindly upon our love." But even as they spoke, the ground beneath them began to tremble. The trees around them shuddered, and the wind whipped through the forest, carrying with it a voice, an ancient, angry voice. "You have broken the laws of the forest," the voice boomed. "Humans and spirits are not meant to be together. For your defiance, you shall be punished." Suddenly, the forest came alive. The trees twisted and turned, their branches reaching out like arms, trying to separate Nkem and Adolfo. The ground split open and the sky darkened as the spirits of the forest unleashed their fury. Kachi, seeing his sister in danger, grabbed her hand and pulled her back. "We have to leave," he shouted. But Nkem refused to leave Adolfo behind. "I can't. I won't." Adolfo, realizing the danger they were all in, made a decision. "Go, Nkem. I will hold them off. I will protect you." "No, Adolfo," Nkem cried, tears streaming down her face. But Adolfo was already stepping forward, his hands raised as he called upon his powers. The ground shook and the trees pulled back, giving Nkenji and Kachi a chance to escape.
"Go!"
Adolfo shouted, his voice filled with a mix of pain and determination.
"I'll find you, I promise."
With a heavy heart, Nkenji turned and ran, dragging Kachi with her. The forest closed in behind them, and the last thing Nkenji saw was Adolfo standing tall and strong, facing the wrath of the spirits alone. When they finally reached the edge of the forest, the sky was clear and the village was quiet, as if nothing had happened. But Nkenji knew better. She knew that Adolfo was out there somewhere fighting to protect their love. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Nkenji returned to the forest every night, calling out to Adolfo with her songs, but there was no answer. The villagers noticed her sadness, but no one knew the truth. The elders warned her again and again and again to stay away from the forest, but Nkenji couldn't give up hope. One day, as she was singing by the river, a gentle breeze swept through the trees, carrying with it a whisper, a familiar, comforting voice. "Nkenji." She turned around, her heart leaping with joy. There, standing at the edge of the forest, was Adolfo. He looked different, more human, but his eyes still glowed with that same fiery light. "Adolfo! Adolfo!" Nkem cried, running into his arms. "I promised I'll find you," Adolfo said, holding her close. "The spirits have granted us their blessing. We can now be together, but I must remain in this form. I can no longer return to the spirit world. Nkemji didn't care. All that mattered was that they were together now. From that day on, Nkemji and Adolfo lived in the village, their love stronger and stronger than ever. The villagers whispered about the strange man who had come from the forest, but they could see the happiness he brought to Nkemji, and they accepted him as one of their own. But as the months went by, Nkemji began to notice changes in Adolfo. He seemed distant at times. His once warm and glowing eyes now filled with a shadow of sadness. He would disappear for hours, sometimes days, and when he returned, there was a coldness to him that Nkemji couldn't understand. One night, as Nkemji lay beside Adolfo in their small hut, she heard him whisper in his sleep. His words were faint, but they carried a deep sorrow that pierced her heart. The spirits, they're calling me back. Nkem's heart sank. She had hoped that their love would be enough, that Adolfo could live as a human by her side forever and ever. But deep down, she knew the truth. The spirit had allowed them to be together, but Adolfo's soul was still bound to the forest, and the longer he stayed in the human world, the more he faded away. The next morning, Nkemji confronted Adolfo. "You're leaving me, aren't you? You're leaving me," she asked, her voice trembling. Adolfo looked at her with those ember-like eyes, now dimmed with sorrow. "I have no choice, Nkemji. The spirits have given me time, but it's running out. If I stay, I'll cease to exist." Tears welled up in Nkem's eyes. "There must be another way. We can find a way to break the bond, to keep you here with me." Adolfo shook his head. "The bond is unbreakable. I have fought it for as long as I could, but the forest calls back to me. It is where I belong, my love." Nkem's tears flowed freely now. "I can't lose you, Adolfo. I just can't lose you. Not after everything we've been through." Adolfo took her hands in his touch warm yet fleeting. "You will never lose me, Nkem. I will always be with you, in the wind, in the trees, in the song of the birds, and whenever you need me, just sing and I'll come to you." With these words, Adolfo kissed Nkemji one last time, a kiss filled with all the love that they had shared. Then he stepped back, his form shimmering as the light of dawn broke through the trees. As he kept on going, crossed the river into the forest. "I love you, Nkemji, and I'll always love you." And with that, Adolfo faded into the morning mist of the night, leaving Nkemji standing alone, her heart aching with a love that would never fade. From that day on, Nkem continued to sing by the river, her songs filled with both joy and sorrow. She knew that Adolfo was with her, even if she couldn't see him, and every time the wind rustled the leaves or a gentle breeze touched her face, she felt his presence, reminding her that he's always here. The moral lesson for this story says that curiosity can lead us to danger if we ignore the wisdom and warnings of those who know more about the world than we do. Respecting traditions and understanding the reasons behind warnings can keep us safe from harm. Thank you so much for watching.